I got 53% of the votes. Don't look at me. Community engagement has been the hallmark of my administrations for years. For those of you who are old enough to go back to the 1970s, and I see more than one of you in the room, you know that we started out at that time fully committed to strengthening neighborhoods. We are nationally recognized as having one of the strongest neighborhood organization systems in the United States. In addition, and let me use this as a marketing opportunity in case I get reelected, I would particularly hope that all of you would consider, well, not all of you, I'll explain that in a second, consider serving on a city committee or board. If you're from the 2nd District and the 6th District, there's too many of you. Let's be fair and let's have room for other people. But citywide, I really hope we can get more diversity, we can get geographic, gender, race, ethnic background, because that's the hallmark of city government. The neighborhoods of this community have played an important and vibrant role, but I want to emphasize one thing. We cannot lead to balkanization of the city. We have to, at times, recognize the overwhelming need to have a strong city for all of us in developing transportation, housing policy, child care, health policies, and particularly housing. Thank you.
It's about civic participation. And it's really about how we can use new tools to modernize that entire process. You know, one of the things that both the mayor and I supported was Idea Scale. And what Idea Scale was to collect the ideas for the City of Madison budget. So if anybody here has an idea, something that the city might be missing, submit those ideas to City Hall online. You know, we look at what time our meetings take place. And it's really difficult for many residents to show up to City Hall to be able to testify, to sometimes wait hours on end to have your voices heard. We see if that happens at the state capitol, there's a time limit on it. But here in the city of Madison, it's every single alder and the mayor's priority to make sure that every person's voice is represented in our democracy. Now, I think that we can take new steps to make sure that it's a transparent process, that you know if we're having a city meeting, what time is that meeting at, where is it, and what is the subject matter that's going to be. And we actually see in this time with so much modern technology, we're taking a step back from those very core elements that make communication and processes less efficient. We're seeing times where we're not communicating well enough to our residents on the very issues and matters at hand, and there's room for improvement.
I want to use this final minute to mention the neighborhood resource teams, but also the challenges we have, whether it's evening meetings like this or it's using technology. There are two critical elements that we must have for citizen participation and meaningful engagement. They are access and trust. And we can't assume that because any one of us can go to an evening meeting or have access to a computer, that everyone does. It's critical that we take this responsibility to neighborhoods. And one of the really satisfying things that I've seen in the last 4 years is, for example, the beginning of a strong neighborhood group at Worthington. The fact that at Meadowood we're getting tremendous engagement, followed at the Brentwood area by the homeowning community and the renting community. This is the basis for building neighborhoods that work.